guys, this is Christopher doing another video once again. Right now I'm doing something. Hold on, let me. Okay. So I'm gonna be reacting to my teacher got me pregnant. Just look at this thumbnail. There's some girl pregnant and some kind of teacher.
Done something truly evil and destroyed someone's whole life? Have you ever done something truly evil and destroyed someone's whole life? Well, I have.
Satan here?
I was 19 and about to graduate from high school. But then my math teacher, Mr. Cumberbatch, told me I'd failed his class and would have to repeat the year. I was devastated because I had already made plans.
Oh, I hate that. Like, I actually been through it. I actually failed first grade. Yeah. It hurts. Yeah, I failed a grade. And for me, really, I didn't care. Yeah, that makes me kind of the oldest of my class, but hey. So, nobody kind of doesn't believe me that I'm 12. I should be in seventh grade right now, but I'm in 6th. But failing a grade sucks.
To go to college, so I started crying and begged him to show mercy and let me pass. But he said no and shook his head in a last attempt.
Begging for mercy's going to do nothing.
I gave him a big hug and said, "Please, Mr. Cumberbatch, isn't there anything I can do?" He pushed me away and said,
"Wow, a Cochet name, Cochet."
"No, it's too late now." But I showed persistence and kept begging him, saying, "Please, please."
Did you saw that? Hold on.
Please, Mr. Said, "No, it's too late now." But I showed persistence.
Is she looking at his junk right now? Whatever.
And kept begging him,
She's
saying,
literally looking at his
"Please,
junk.
Mr. Cumberbatch, isn't there anything I can do for you?" Finally, he had a change of heart and wrote down an address on a paper and said, "Okay."
She goes to her house, they're doing some work, she kisses him, and then,
"Come here on Saturday, 6 p.m. We will do some math exercises, and if you do well, I will change your grade and let you pass." I gave him one last hug and said, "Thank you, Mr. Cumberbatch, you are the best." When Saturday arrived, I was very nervous. I didn't know if I was going on a date or if I was getting a private math lesson. But
why would you think a grown-up teacher would go on a date with you? Well, what it says right there, my teacher got me pregnant, so...
To be sure, I dressed myself up. I put on my old school uniform, but made a few changes to look as exciting as possible. When I arrived at his house, he opened the door and said, "Come in, you're looking gorgeous today." I responded with, "Thank you, Mr. Cumberbatch, you're looking good too." We sat down at a desk and he told me to solve some math problems, but I couldn't focus. Mr. Cumberbatch was so close to me, and I realized how attractive he was. I mean...
You think an old man with old sweaty balls is attracted? I don't believe I just said that.
I was 19 and he was only 10 years older than me. What turned me on the most was the authority he had over me.
You're turned on by a teacher? Okay.
He could decide whether I would pass the year or repeat it. At one point, I just stared into his eyes and hoped he would kiss me. But I guess he was too nervous.
Wait, why would you think a teacher wants to kiss you? God, 19-year-olds are stupid.
I kissed him. And he liked it.
Why did you kiss him?
Kissing my high school teacher wasn't technically illegal, but we still broke the rules of our school. A teacher-student relation...
It is illegal. She just said it wasn't illegal. It is illegal. God, this girl is stupid.
Relationship was strictly prohibited, but that's what made it so exciting. When we said goodbye to each other, I asked him if I had studied enough to pass the year, and he said, "You have worked very hard today, and therefore I will let you pass."
God, I'd rather be roasted than Cyrus than watch this crap.
I said,
and Cyrus is good at roasting people.
"Thank you, Mr. Cumberbatch," and gave him one more kiss on his mouth. This might shock you, but it was my first time. And because of my inexperience, I forgot to tell him to use...
Why were you grabbing it?
protection. So 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant.
Stupid kids out there. Always use protection. And look at this stupid girl. She's pregnant now.
I didn't mind, though, because I really
What do you mean you don't mind? How do you not mind?
liked Mr. Cumberbatch. The next day, I went up to him at school to tell him about the baby. I secretly hoped we would become a couple. But when he heard the news, he got angry and said, "You will go to the pharmacy right now and get the pill." I didn't like the way he
What do you think, stupid? He only wanted you for the fun. He didn't want you to be a relationship. I bet you he's married.
talked to me. This was my body and therefore my decision. I asked him if he was interested
That is true.
in raising the baby with me.
He's
But
going to
he
say no.
freaked out and screamed, "I already have a wife and kid.
Aha, see, told you.
I'll never take care of your stupid baby. Go to the pharmacy
Oh, her stupid baby. Do you mean your stupid baby?
right now." I screamed back, "You're married?" And he said, "Of course. And don't act like you didn't know. All my students know I have a wife and kid." Wow, what a jerk. Not only did he
So why would you cheat on your wife and make out with her?
betray his wife, but now he was trying to put the blame on me. I got angry and said, "I will keep the baby and tell your wife what you did." That's
Instant karma, touche.
when he almost had a seizure and screamed right at me, "You won't do that." But then I had an idea. I knew I would keep the baby anyway, but at least I could pretend to make a deal with him. I said, "If you turn all my grades into straight A's, then I will change my mind on the baby." Mr. Cumberbatch was desperate. He agreed to the deal and snuck into our school at night to change my grades on the principal's computer. But 2 days later, on my graduation day, things went wrong. When my principal handed over my report card, he took a quick look at it and said, "There must have been a mistake." I immediately knew my plan had failed, and the next day I got my real report card, and my grades were terrible.
Hold on, did she just fart? And oh my god, this girl is literally dumb. C, 1A.
The only A I got was in Mr. Cumberbatch's math class. I knew it wasn't his fault, but I was so angry, I found out his address and went to his house. A woman opened the door, and she was pregnant too. I asked her if she was the wife of Mr. Cumberbatch, and she said,
Look at, oh my god. Look at this girl. She looks so sweet. And her husband's, I bet she's going to be mad at her husband. I can't wait to see that.
yes. Then Mr. Cumberbatch appeared next to her. He stared at me in a very threatening way. For a moment I had doubts, but then I looked straight into her eyes and said, "Your husband got me pregnant and he has no interest in taking responsibility for his mistake." I hoped she would get angry at her husband, but instead she got angry at me.
Whoa, Mima, what? Did you not tell her that she didn't know he was married? Teenagers?
Screaming, "You bitch! You've seduced my husband, you dirty bitch!"
Whoa, watch the language. Watch the language. I know in my Transformers meme intros, there is cussing, so I guess I let that one slide.
If Mr. Cumberbatch hadn't held her back from me, I might not be alive today. I was
Oh, you would be alive.
shocked and went back home. It got worse. The next day she came.
What is it with these girls? Oh, a girl's gonna kick me right in the butt. I might die. Yeah, you might be bruised up, but you be fine. God.
to my house and used a golf club to break in through a window. My parents weren't at home to protect me, so I fled to the rooftop and called the police.
Literally, this story is so fake right now.
They arrived in time and took Mrs. Cumberbatch into custody. 2 weeks later, she was sentenced to 24 months in prison.
This is all of the 19-year-old's fault. One, she was dumb as an egg. Two, she begged the teacher so much. 3, she was the one that kissed him. 4, she was dumb as an egg, so she didn't tell him to use a protection. And 5, she made the wife go crazy. But her breaking into the house was her fault, so.
But this story gets even crazier. I called up Mr. Cumberbatch and told him we needed to talk. We met at a restaurant and I asked him, "How much child support will you pay me each month?" He responded, "I'm only a teacher. I don't make much money."
Oh my god, teachers get so much money. It's not like that much money, but it's not a lot of money, but teachers get paid, you know. And being a teacher is a good job. Teachers get paid well. Oh god, I'm just a stupid kid.
But I asked again,
Why should I know?
"How much child support are you going to pay me?" He said, "Look, my pregnant wife is in prison and we both know she is insane. I will divorce her as soon as possible and I'd like you to come live with me."
What the heck? Yeah, this story is fake. First, you're like, hey, I'm gonna bang a child. Now, you're like, hey, wife, I love you so much. I'm sorry what I did with that stupid child. And now you're like, wife, I hate you. I want to be with the child again.
"It will be the best for both you and the baby."
This is so
I
stupid.
immediately said yes because I was scared of being a single mom. But after my daughter was born, I had to take care of both her and Mr. Cumberbatch's other baby. At first I didn't mind. I loved them both. But then I saw how Mr. Cumberbatch preferred his other daughter over mine. He spent more time with her and treated her so much better. Every morning. "Hey, sweetie, good morning. I love you so much." And then he completely ignored my daughter. I had to admit that
He's probably talking to you.
she was the perfect child. Extremely beautiful and very smart. Much smarter than my daughter. At age 2, she already spoke fluently. I often screamed at Mr. Cumberbatch, telling him to treat them equally, but he never did. At one point, I couldn't take it anymore. I went to a lawyer and asked him how much the father of my child had to pay me in child support on a $40,000 teacher salary. He told me to expect at least $1,000 per month. That was a good amount, but I knew I could do better. So I went to Mr. Cumberbatch and said, "I will move out, but I expect you to pay me $2,000 in child support each month." Of course, he told me he didn't have enough money to do that.
He's just lying. God, I hope I don't be a stupid teenager, go on a party, find a hot chick, make out with her, be stupid, and have a child. Life these days.
But I continued. "If you don't pay me the money, I will tell the school authorities that you got me pregnant while I was one of your students. I'm sure they will fire you for that." He got angry and said, "How stupid are you? If I'm gonna lose my job, then how am I gonna pay your child support?" I responded, "You are demanded by the..."
Well, she's really not that stupid, technically. Well, actually, yeah, she is dumb as an egg. If she was smart, she would have probably not messed the year, but hey, if you're an egg, you're dumb.
"Law to pay my child support anyway. If you don't, you will go to prison just like your wife." "You are insane. All you women are insane," he said. But I didn't.
Oh, now you're mentioning every woman now. Oh, you're the insane one. You got the teenager pregnant. When she kissed you, you should have said, "No, this isn't right." But no, you're like, "Oh, come on, let's date." And you had a wife, and oh my God, I am so mad right now.
Didn't care. I told him to get a second job, and we figured he could tutor kids to afford the $2,500 in child support. Meanwhile, I moved back in with my parents, and life became much easier for me. Right now, my mom takes care of my daughter while I'm going to college. With the $2,500 Mr. Cumberbatch sends me each month, I have enough money to feed my daughter and party through the weekends. Trust me, I really enjoy my college life. But Mr. Cumberbatch had to move into a cheaper and smaller house. He couldn't afford his old rent anymore. I knew it was wrong, but for some reason...
For some reason, you want to ruin the family again?
I deeply enjoyed seeing Mr. Cumberbatch suffer. A few months later, I checked his Facebook and saw he was back with Mrs. Cumberbatch. I was still envious of their daughter. I didn't think they deserved such a perfect child. So one night, after I came back from a college party, I did something terrible. I put a bunch of photos of me holding Mrs. Cumberbatch's daughter on a USB stick, put it in an envelope.
You got the money. You have a great child, and you got the money. Why are you? I know what the stupid teacher did was wrong, but why are you still? Oh my God! Ugh. This girl is literally wants revenge.
And sent it to their new home. I wanted to let Mrs. Cumberbatch know that her husband and I had been living together while she was in prison. I'd hoped...
And are they making out? This is so stupid.
He'd get angry and break into my house so the police could arrest her again. But this time nothing happened. And instead of giving up, I took it one step further.
Oh
When
my
it was
God.
time to receive my next child support check, I went to their home to pick it up personally. Mrs. Cumberbatch opened the door looking shocked to see me. I said, I want to pick up my child support check.
Why are you doing this? You got your revenge. Why are you trying? You already got your revenge.
In
Oh my
person.
God.
She said, "What are you talking about?" And I responded,